Servus and welcome. I'm Vera at Spill Coffee Crafts and it's showtime. We have a Scrappy 8 challenge to do for February. And as you can see and hear, this is voice-over time also, as there was no amount of cutting I could do to keep any of this footage because of sneezing and coughing and yeah, everything. So I hope this will work with the voiceover. What you see me doing here is prepping my card. Maybe you can remember my Scrappy 8 box contains 10 sleeves for CDs. They are empty, of course. And for each month, I will decorate a sleeve and a card that goes with the prompt for this month. And if you think, what the heck is Scrappy 8? Please watch my prepping video where I explain everything about Scrappy 8, how it works, and where I, of course, make my box. So this card is made from handmade paper, or it's more cardstock, and it was gifted to me and it has a beautiful structure. So, and for what was my idea for the Scrappy 8 challenge, because the prompt is Graffiti, your style, and it was given to us by Michelle. So, and I was doing a little bit of research because I didn't have much of a clue about graffiti. It's usually not something I do. I like it when it's done well and I see it on my travels or also here in Austria. But it's nothing that interested me enough to do it and to find my style of it. So I was not sure. So I did a little bit of research and yeah, it turns out that the oldest form of graffiti are cave paintings. So there is not really a definition, but when you look it up on Wikipedia, they say, yeah, essentially it's a wall and someone painted on it. And usually with graffiti you think of spray painting, but there are different styles. So also some say murals are kind of, or modern murals are graffiti. And yeah, so, and it is graffiti your style. So one part of this challenge I will do a cave painting. And this will also help me because you may already know I'm not really a talented painter. Neither painting nor drawing is a really good skill of mine. Yeah, and so I thought, yeah, that's fine. Cave painting should be a low enough stake for me to make it. So I'm prepping this card and with a tea bag because it had the right color that I had in mind, and also the surface because this handmade paper has already a very rough surface, but it's more or less very rounded. And with the tea bags I tried to get a few folds in it, so they look like a little bit more like fissures in the stone, and so give it more of stone-like quality, the surface of this card. Yeah, because cave paintings, you know. And I'm just tidying up the edges here and see if everything is fine. And here comes the cave painting part. And I'm using my onion skin ink that I made myself. There is also a video on my channel about this one. And this was also one of the parts why I chose the cave painting, because I wanted to use the ink. And here, this first few lines. They are more or less to make sure that the ink will dry on the surface, because I used matte medium to glue the tea bag down. And maybe it would have been better to use clear gesso, but it worked out in the end. So, and on my iPad, I pulled up some inspiration pictures, not videos. So, because I had these paintings in my head, and of course with the googling and research that I've done, I have seen them, but yeah, I wanted to have a little bit more inspiration beside me when doing this. I'm very much intimidated by drawing. So, yeah, and I'm not copying, of course, uh, even if these are very, very old pictures. But still, the inspiration is there. So, and I'm drawing some kind of a, I don't know, a bison, some kind of hoofed and horned animal. And then I also wanted to have one of the cavemen there. So, and hunting scenes are very common in cave paintings. Yeah, we think about saying thank you for a successful hunt, or maybe having wanting to have someone to intervene, a higher spirit, maybe, let's tell it like this, that hopefully the hunt will be successful. We don't know what they really thought about it, but hunting scenes are very common. So, of course, I stuck also to this concept. Uh, yeah, and I was thinking, yeah, a bow would be fine here. Yeah, and I also use a old knitting needle, a wooden knitting needle for drawing here. And this is also because I didn't want to use a brush. The surface is already very rough. Um, so it wouldn't have given me a clear line, but with the stick it's even better, I think. So it's more, yeah, gives you it leads you more into the direction of the style of this painting, and doesn't get you all neat and fine and small details, because these paintings didn't have this. So using the knitting needle, and it worked great, so I was very surprised. uh, yeah, and I liked it. And here is now a not so successful attempt to draw a dog that helps with the hunt. I don't know if there are any dogs on real cave paintings, but I thought, yeah, this would be the right spot. And I tell you it's a dog because I need to tell you, because you wouldn't have guessed it, I think. But yeah. Yeah, I'm taking a few seconds here to see if this makes me happy. And yeah, it's fine. I like it. It turned out quite in a way that I was thinking. And checking also my inspiration photo, I found that they used much more color that I had usually thought of. So it's not only the black that was maybe wood ash or something like this, for the paintings, but there were really also colors like white and reddish browns and different kind of browns. So I wanted to give this animal a little bit more of a color, and I use my what is it, antique photo, what's the name, oh, you see, obviously my brain is not working. It's just, it's still very yeah, leave it. I leave it with this. Okay, so and I was pondering if I want to have the flap on this CD sleeve, and in this case, I didn't like it, and I thought it would be easier to put the card in and out without opening also this flap. So I cut it down and just kept a little bit and glued it down to strengthen the opening a little bit. And I'm considering two different stencils that I have, and I finally chose the smaller one because if I've used the bigger ones, the graffiti part would have looked small, because yeah, then there are 10 bricks on this small sleeve, and yeah, so I chose the smaller one, and I'm putting down a grayish background and it's a warm gray because this is for the mortar between the bricks. The envelope was just too white for me, so the gray was fine, and I went for the gray, and I really love it. It's titanium white, I think is the name, and some black acrylic spray that I have, that I mixed just a little bit together, and it turned out quite right. And for the bricks, I chose acrylic paints and not archival ink or distress inks. I wanted them in gray, so more like cement bricks, not like burnt bricks. So no, I think it's not the correct word. What's the correct word for the reddish bricks? I don't know. But in this case, I wanted more a gray background, so the graffiti is standing out more. So, and you think now, okay, you're now making a wall, and what about the cave painting? You will see. It's kind of tying together in the end, kind of. The whole idea was here more like graffiti now to graffiti then, so old and new, and past times nowadays times, something in this direction was where my brain was going with this. Yeah, and I didn't come up with different ideas, so I went and made it work. And if you're wondering, this stencil is one that my husband printed out for me on a 3D printer, and I already have it for a long time, and I usually don't use it because it's too thick. It's not really thick, but it's still too thick if to use it with a brush with inks. But with the stippling brush here and the acrylic paints, it worked okay. It doesn't give crisp lines, but I didn't look for it, so I'm happy. And on the front side, I didn't do the grayish background because the area is much smaller, because I only have more or less the corners here because the big window for the CD. So there was no point in bothering with painting a background. So I'm happy with the white background here for this just small areas. Yeah, and I'm quite happy with the stencil, and that I now tried it also with the stippling brush, where it works. So, and cleaning up the window a little bit, and for the window I wanted a little bit of a vignette that's also going into the acetate from the window, because the idea here was, that's now where everything comes more or less together. The idea here was that there is a wall with a window and you're looking into the cave. So not really a 3D effect, but still it's like, yeah, you would stand in front of a round window where behind this a piece of a cave painting is displayed, something like this. And I was also pondering about if I should draw some metal rods across the window, so to make it clearer that this should be a window. And also if you are on an excavation site and there is or in a museum, sometimes there are iron bars over the windows. So I know this from Egypt, where so you can look inside, but so you can't get inside. But in the end, I chose not to do it. I was not right if I could do it correctly, and just drawing straight lines wouldn't have looked good, I think. So, yeah, I chose not to do it. And here I'm also making a little bit of a vignette on the cave painting part on the card. So I'm just making the edges around the center a little bit darker. Yeah, just I like this kind of focus to at on the middle. So, and with this, the card is more or less finished, and I'm fitting it in here, and I'm quite happy with it, which leaves me with the back where the now real graffiti is going on. So what you usually would think of. And I watched Brenda from Plasterworks and Sonia from Artsy Solutions doing their pieces, and yeah, took out a page of their book. And I looked how they did it and copied them more or less, yet not with the word, or but kind of with the technique, because yeah, graffiti, neither real ones nor in my art pieces, is usually something I do. So, but also Brenda said I can do it, so I have to prove that I can do it, right? So, and this is just an edding marker in blue that I used here to have the first shape of the words. And if you can't read it here, the words say act now. Yeah, I leave it to you to interpret this as you want. The now part is about this past times, now times, so now and then, so, and yeah, but I didn't want to have only the now. Graffiti is usually also about statements and about politics, and yeah, making a statement on a wall where it's not easy to take off. So I just didn't want to have only the word now and made it act now. Yeah, and I'm outlining here the letters with black, and the acrylic marker I'm using here is giving up slowly but surely. So you will see me later also outlining a second time with a Posca pen, because yeah, this marker is near his life cycle, I think. Yeah, and I leave you a little bit with just watching me doing this. There is not much to tell about. It's easy. Just write the words and then outline them and outline them again and outline them. So, and I was looking also on inspiration for the graffiti part. So, not directly with the words I used, but with short words and just how it can be. Yeah. And then I just translated what I found more or less with the videos from Sonia and Brenda, and just, yeah, got doing it. Sometimes you have to jump into the cold water. I don't know if this is also a saying in English. In German it is. So sometimes you have to step over the edge. And what is it? Is it Indiana Jones? And oh, I don't know the English name of the film, the one with the Holy Grail, where there is this one challenge where you have just to believe that the bridge is there. Oh my god, I'm acting my age, right? And now I'm also outlining all the letters again in orange, also just an edding pen. And I will also use the orange to make a bigger surface. So I'm not, now I'm only outlining the letters, but then I will also fill in um, the, the outer outlines and paint everything inside of them. So there is more of an impact of the message, I think. Yeah, and that was also how it was done on the inspiration photo that I watched or found. Yeah. And all in all, I like the process. And what I also like is that these eddings are not opaque or not 100% opaque, so you can still see a little bit of the bricks, which helps with the illusion that this is a graffiti. So I really liked it for this kind of application. Usually I shy away from them, and then what I also noticed, but only at a later point when it was already very intense, is that with the adding markers, the experience of painting this is more similar to as when you're spray painting, because spray paints also have a very intense um, uh, oh gosh, what's the word? Oh, my brain, come on, reboot. They have an intense smell. Oh, how can I blank out on a word like smell? Okay. Well, yeah, the smell is quite intense when you're spray painting. And you also notice when you're just spray painting, not a graffiti, but or a graffiti, but something else. And yeah, at the end, I found that I could smell the adding markers, which says something because my nose has been not smelling anything for over a week now. So maybe I get better. I don't know. Oh gosh. Guys, I hope this is working. I have the feeling that this is not really working. Oh, I checked. I checked and the recording was recorded. I'm so happy. Because I don't know how long my voice will stay. So I am not able, if I would, I'm not sure if I would be able to do another half hour of voice over. but I made it nearly through it. So I'm just adding the last finishing touches here and making a impromptu, improv and impromptu spray cabin here because I'm using the black acrylic paint spray that I have to give this graffiti a little bit more of a sprayed look. And usually I forget about putting something up, and then my whole desk is covered with black paint or with little sprinkles of black paint. Um, and yeah, I also intended this to be a little bit like a vignette, but not a regular circular one. So this was quite intentional. Yeah, and I'm happy how it looks. So, and we are nearly there. I'm putting in the card, which now fits. And yes, of course, there are a little bit of paint splatters on my window because, yeah, it's me and it's a Monday, so why wouldn't there be paint splatters where they shouldn't be? But I don't mind. No, it's fine. And then I was thinking, oh, I still have the favorite card that I need to implement here. And yeah, the easiest part for me was to put this is a card, it's not a sticker, it's just a cardboard thing that's like these speech bubbles from a comic. And I turned it around because it has already a word on it, but the word did not match, and I wanted the word fav. So it's not really, it's for favorite, it's short for favorite, right? I hope it is. I hope this is not something I messed up now completely because fav is used for something else. But I'm quite sure that in at least in this on this occasion is a short term for favorite, and I painted in the same colors that I used for the graffiti on the other side, and I put the speech bubble on the hunter of the cave painting, of course, on the window, because yeah, this would also be something a graffiti artist would do, right? So put something on something that's already there. So I'm quite happy how this worked and that everything worked out. Yeah, and this is my contribution to Scrappy 8 February 2026. The last finishing touches here are, yeah, just putting some ink on the edges, distressing them so everything is neat and fine. And these are the last touches. And here's the box and the small version, my favorite card that I now can put away again. And I put the prompt from Michelle on this little card. And I think in the end I will glue it. So at one time in this year, I will glue it inside of the lid. But I'm not sure yet, so I leave it loose for now. And that's it.